Okay, so recently there's been quite a bit of drama around the Wuthering Waves community and also some stuff to do with Xenosaga Zero. Now, if you haven't seen this, then I don't know where you've been. You might have been living underneath a rock, but pretty much the whole fan bases are going against each other for some reason. I don't really know why, seeing as me personally, I'm a person who likes Xenosaga Zero and Wuthering Waves and can see the differences and the positives and negatives of each. But it seems like a lot of people are getting very angry with each other, and a lot of this is to do with stuff with like Mr. Pokey obviously releasing some tweets, people getting angry at him, even though to be fair, he wasn't exactly wrong, but he is kind of instigating a lot of stuff in the community, which again, I think is totally fine, but obviously it's bringing up a conversation of a lot of people kind of going at war. Now, obviously during this kind of period where people were going at each other's throats, there is a lot of misinformation that I just wanted to correct, and I saw a couple of posts that I just thought I wanted to go through. I talk about some of the things that are going on in the Wuthering Waves community, for example, like toxicity and how that might be a problem, and you know, what is actually going on, what is actually toxic, what is actually just a fair kind of evaluation of a video. And yeah, I just wanted to go through all of it in this video. But before I get into it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you guys do enjoy it. And also go over to Game Subs again. They got a ton of really cool stuff. Again, they got this shirt, which again is really, really nice. I definitely recommend going over there again, checking them out. They got a ton of cool stuff as well, like cups, tubs, stuff like that, which you guys would really, really like. So yeah, go down in the link in the description and again, get 10% off using code Kaza. But let's get back into the video. So this was one of the main tweets that I saw. Now, I'm obviously very aware that this is like kind of like rage bait, that someone that is trying to bait a lot of the community, but obviously whenever people try to bait a lot of the community, they do spread a lot of misinformation. Now, let's just go into some of the screenshots. They say Kurobots ain't beating the allegations. Now, if you've seen a lot of my videos on this channel, I've talked on the second channel, on the main channel, about the toxicity of the Wuthering Waves community. It can be pretty bad, you know, whenever you do point out some issues with the game, I do actually understand that the Kuro community can be a little bit hostile towards that kind of you know, video, and even if it does point out some really good facts, some really good information, they don't care. All they see is you kind of attacking their favorite game, and I think that's the same on both sides in terms of Hoyo and also Kuro, and I think a lot of people can agree with that. Now obviously that might give me a little bit of hate, but again, that is exactly why I'm making this video in the first place. Now, they put up some of these kind of videos, which I just felt just didn't accurately represent the community at all. Now, this first one is from Foxhole. So, yeah, we all know about what happened with Foxhole and him and Atomo and people like that. Yeah, so this is a video from Foxhole saying why I prefer wuwa over Xenosaga Zero, and it has 172 likes and 15 dislikes. Now, what they're trying to insinuate here is that people who, you know, find videos that say wuwa is better than this game are gonna like it more, which I do think is true, especially whenever you build up that community. And I think a lot of people do need to understand that there is this kind of thing of people building up a Wuthering Waves community or building up a Hoyo community, and if you shit on the other game, well, again, you're gonna get a pretty positive reception because you built up that community. If you're a Hoyo creator and you said something bad about Hoyo, then yeah, maybe you're gonna get a few more dislikes, stuff like that. But obviously Foxhole, you know, they make a lot of Wuthering Waves content, despite how much I like it or dislike it. You know, that's regardless of that. But they do make a lot of Wuthering Waves content, which means a lot of Wuthering Waves fans are going to be liking this kind of content. So I think it is important to add some kind of context behind this. And the same goes for these next two screenshots, which are more of the ones that I wanted to talk about. This one, again, it's Foxhole. We don't really care. Let's keep going. We got the next one saying, I'm worried about ZCC's combat may be better than Wuthering Waves. Now, this has been a video that has been very popular in the community recently. Obviously, you've probably seen some of your favorite CCs reacting to it. And I actually went through it, you know, on 2x speed because I ain't sitting through all of that. But pretty much what this person did, he pretty much tried to cook, but ended up just burning the kitchen altogether and adding in way too many chess references. Oh my god, bro. It was absolutely insane. And they're saying they're worried that ZCC's combat might be better while also playing a lot of videos from like a level 40 account, like level 65, and also the footage was zoomed in. Now usually whenever you zoom in footage, it's because you don't want them to see the UID or something like that, or you don't want them to see a kind of watermark from another kind of player playing the game and that you've used on YouTube, which I think is totally fine. But I feel like maybe that wasn't his content at all. Hey, maybe it was, but also even if it was their content, they were using, you know, they were fighting level 65 mobs in rinascita. I mean, I feel like you'd have enough of a grasp of what is actually going on in Wuthering Waves to actually make a video on it if you're still fighting level 65 mobs. Now obviously, you know, I definitely respect their opinion if they played the game in full and actually, you know, done a lot of this stuff. But I think that's what a lot of people were mad about, you know? A lot of it was just like pointless yap about like why they didn't like it, but also the fact that it seems like they've barely played the game obviously didn't really help them, and that's why it got a lot of dislikes. And I feel like there is a lot of context just kind of missing from these posts, and that's why people get so angry with this kind of stuff. it's because, you know, you're missing out the entire video that is above that title. It's not always about the title, it's not always about the thumbnail, it's about the actual quality of the content. Now, I do agree, if you do criticize wuwa quite a bit, then obviously you're going to get quite a lot of dislikes. I've had it before, you know, I've criticized wuwa and I've had a lot of dislikes, and I do agree that that does happen in the community, and I really hope that does change, because I don't want it to become this situation with like the Hoiverse community, you know, where they're overly toxic and overly positive and stuff like that, which again can become a real problem. But also, it's not bad to actually dislike and disagree with a lot of videos that are just straight up bad, you know. These videos are just straight up bad. Now, if you pulled out a video that maybe was a little bit more respectable, and you know, maybe they just had a good take and people just didn't like it because of the typical Kurobots not beating the allegations, then to be fair, I would actually agree with this post. But the thing is, what it seems to be is very, very disingenuous and very, very just weird overall, because they've also put up this post saying why I like Xenozone Zero more than Wuthering Waves by Valkyria. Now, if you don't know, Valkyria is usually a typical person who kind of spread a lot of kind of satirical kind of content and, you know, just kind of make fun of things whenever they do happen. And, you know, I literally watched through this video as well. It's like a 5-minute video. They say that, you know, Wuthering Waves was too much like Genshin Impact, so that's why they played it. I mean, you know, that just tells you a lot of how much they've actually played with Wuthering Waves, is they're saying it's too much like Genshin Impact. Again, combat, everything like that, completely different, but hey, you know, that obviously inflamed a lot of people as well, and people were not happy with that, so they disliked it. And I feel like a lot of people are getting mad at the Kuro Games people for disliking videos that need to be disliked. Now, obviously, there's probably a lot of Genshin Impact videos out there. There's probably a lot of other games out there that have been scrutinized in videos and stuff and have been heavily disliked due to the fact of them being not good. You know, these videos are not good, and that is why they've disliked. Now, obviously, you know, this person has gone in the replies saying, you know, 1,000 comments is insane though. Can we finally stop with this engagement farming post? Now they say no. So again, they are like obviously engagement farming and just trying to get a rise out of people. Now, obviously, I know, you know, I've made this entire video on it, but I did want to just kind of cover it because it seems like something that a lot of people are kind of misconstruing. But as I said, don't get me wrong, the Kuro Games community does like to do this, and also the Hoiverse community likes to do this. All the communities like to do this, is they like to go on these posts and actually dislike them, even if the video isn't that bad and it's actually more informational and more factual. Now, obviously, I'm seeing even more misinformation coming out as well. For example, this post, says Gaunt gets exposed at the beginning of a sponsored stream. Now, obviously, it says a 3-hour break, whatever, on the Wuthering Waves screen. We've all had it. We've all seen the clips of people having it and going crazy. Now, obviously, it's not sponsored. I watched the entire stream. I was there. It's not sponsored, and I think people trying to say that it was sponsored and that he was paid to play this game instead of actually playing it on his own accord, again, is a little bit disingenuous. Now, to be fair, they did actually correct it down here, saying never mind, thanks, he wasn't sponsored. But again, it does seem like this kind of stuff is being spread around the community and people aren't doing their research, and whenever it comes to this kind of stuff, and hopefully it does kind of end in the future. Now, as you can see, to be fair, thankfully this post only got 115 likes and 29,000 views, meaning, you know, whenever you have that kind of like to view ratio, it means a lot of people just don't agree with this. And it seems like we do have a lot of people in this community currently just kind of doing this kind of content, and it does get very frustrating. Now, obviously, you know, I will continue to make these videos the more the misinformation gets spread around and stuff like that, because again, it is very annoying, and I do feel a lot of people's pain in the community of just being like, oh my god, bro, could these people just shut up? Because again, they do not know anything, and if they genuinely think this is a good reason to say that Kurobots and stuff like that are attacking videos that are, you know, being negative for Wuthering Waves, honestly, I feel like they might have a problem, because again, it is not good enough evidence at all. Now, obviously, I could bring up a ton of my videos and also some other people's videos of them criticizing Wuthering Waves and getting a pretty decent amount of dislikes, not so big as these ones. Obviously, these ones are pretty insane, like 50-50 like ratio, but I've had quite a lot of videos that have, you know, done pretty terribly for me actually kind of criticizing the game in the past, and people obviously don't like it. So that is something that I do want to change in the Wuthering Waves community, and I'll continue to post a lot of content that is critical of the game, that does bring up a lot of issues that is going on in the game. But again, maybe that comes at the cost of dislikes, maybe that comes at the cost of people getting angry at me, but to be honest, I don't really care, you know? I don't care. As long as the actual true information is getting out there, and a lot of people know what is going on, then I'm pretty happy. If it gets a ton of dislikes because I covered, you know, for example, recently the South Korean stuff that's going on, and South Korea's localization being pretty bad and people being upset about it, and obviously that got quite a few dislikes because, you know, I'm not saying Wuthering Waves is the best game in the world, well, you know, so be it. And I don't really care that much because me personally, you know, you guys have seen my content. There's a lot of videos of me glazing the game because I do love the game. They do make a lot of really good changes, but sometimes they don't, and that's okay. I feel like, you know, a lot of people just need to know that it's okay that the game can make bad choices and the game can make bad decisions once in a while. You know, they're not perfect. They're not like this like wonder game which is going to change everything. It's still a gacha game at the end of the day. But hey, you know, let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this. Do you guys think that, you know, the misinformation is getting a bit out of hand? And what do you think about the Wuthering Waves community at the moment? Do you think it's in a good place, or do you think that it's maybe spiraling out of control a little bit? Me personally, I think it's actually in a pretty good spot. Now,